Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to the best animated shows ever, so far, with MC and Troy.
I'm Troy.
And I'm MC.
And who knows who goes first because it's been ages, MC.
Yes. So...
Well, this is the best anime shows ever so far. Watch, discuss, rank every anime show ever eventually. MC.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, I actually recorded this episode already, and for some strange reason, my side of the conversation, when I exported it, there was only 9 seconds.
Well, here's the thing. We had this all arranged. We were going to have Bill on as a guest for episode 2, and you and me and Bill were all going to record. And then my wife and I went on a trip, and we were paused overnight and going to record the next morning. So I was going to record in a different location, but that's fine. And then we realized we left one of our bags at home. And so everything turned into like, oh god, what do we do? Crisis mode. And I was like, I can't. So you two recorded. Bill and MC. Look at those two boys. They had such a good time.
Yeah. It was great. It was a really good episode. I exported. I uploaded the thing. I thought, that's all fine. I don't normally check my stuff because it's been going well for who knows how long. And, of course, we normally have backup recording, which
every single episode we have a backup recording, except for this one.
Yeah, except for this one, because you're the host on this chat client, and I can't record, and only the host can record that backup.
Yep. So we do have... Now, here's the good news, MC. We are going to record with Bill again next week, is the plan. So Bill will be on episode 3. But here's the other good news. I have the recording of Bill still. So, depending on how much free time I have, I might, throughout this episode, drop in little nuggets of wisdom from Bill. Maybe I'll call him Billbot and put a robot filter over his voice. I don't know, but maybe you'll hear Bill on this episode. So if you hear a third voice pop up...
Hi, Troy. I'm Bill.
Did you rewatch episode 2, MC?
You mean after the 6 times I've already watched it in the last 3 weeks?
It's been a bit. Because that was 2 weeks ago, and then we were going to record last week, and then I didn't have internet. Just didn't have internet. No internet for Troy. And so we couldn't record last week. Oh my goodness. It's been a whole ordeal. But MC...
The other thing that happened last week was I got the Switch and Stardew Valley, so...
I mean, that'll do it.
I've only spent a couple of hours in it so far, but it's really fun.
We'll have to have Becky join you. She can be your Stardew Valley tutor. Okay, MC. Should we do the thing?
Yeah, we should do the thing.
All right, we're going to talk about Attack on Titan, Episode 2, The Fall of Shiganshina, Part 2, right after these messages.
Hello, you beautiful YouTube watchers. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we're back.
We are back. Episode 2, the attack on Shiganshina. No, sorry, the fall of Shiganshina. MC, they say Shiganshina in the dub of this episode 2 different ways in the same scene. 2 different characters say the name of the city different in the same scene. One says Shiganshina and one says Shiganishima, I think. I don't remember, but it's
weird.
Different. And it made me irritated because I'm like, I was so excited. I'm like, aha, I can learn how to say the name of the city. And then I was like, okay, show. If you're not going to take this seriously, then neither am I.
Yeah. Essentially, the opening of the show is them describing how the society has survived.
Mm-hmm. A little
with
bit of
these walls. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get a little background and these outcropping towns that are supposed to attract the Titans to the those spots on the wall so they don't have to patrol the whole wall. Each wall has its own name. Maria, Rose, and Sinner.
I don't remember what the middle one is.
Yeah,
Maria is
Sinner.
what they call it. They don't say Maria. They say Maria. I thought that was interesting. Because I'm
Huh.
like, I would not call it Maria. That's weird. I do like the idea, though. So to recap, the Shiganshina, the city that's under attack, is one of these outcroppings. They look like little pustules on the outside of the walls. And they're their own smaller walled city with a ton of people living in it. And then if you go inside of the wall, people are way more spread out. So the idea is that if a Titan comes strolling along going, what's that? Do I smell people? They're going to be more attracted to the little outcropping city than to the main area. So then they're going to break into the outcropping city. And I guess the theory is will murder the Titans to death while they're in the process of attacking the outcropping city, and that way they won't be able to get through the main wall. Because, spoilers...
Or slow them down, or, you know, so we can evacuate the people back inside the wall, we'll slow them down, we'll kill off a whole bunch of them, whatever. You know, we're going to sacrifice a few to save the many.
My issue is I don't understand how that's going to save the many, because if you got a real big wall, and a Titan is able to break through the real big wall. I guess maybe their thought is that there's not going to be a Titan attack like this. Their thought is that, like, the wall is to, or that the sanctuary city is for if, you know, a Titan gets in.
Yeah.
Because they don't think Titans are going to break down the wall. Because I'm sitting here going, you guys, the Titan broke down the first wall. Why on earth would you think that the second wall is just going to, like, oh no, it's impossible for them to breach the second wall. Why wouldn't you just if the second wall's so good, why wouldn't you just make the first wall that good?
I mean, it's been working for the past century.
That's true. 100 years. And now, the little boy's mommy's dead.
Well, we get a cool intro, and then we get the city being invaded by Titans, and a preacher yelling about repenting or
God.
whatever.
This preacher.
And then he gets eaten.
About what happens to him.
Yeah, it's like almost immediately. What?
Oh no, I can't hear you, MC.
You can't hear me?
I can't hear you. I saw you mouth the words. You can't hear me, but no, I can't hear you.
We are currently experiencing technical problems. Please sit by.
That was me.
Oh.
That was my fault. My headset apparently disconnected, but it didn't tell me. I stopped hearing you. And then after a bit, then it popped up like, oh, you've lost connection to your headset. And then my headset was like, connection lost, connection found. And then it reconnected. But when it disconnected, Audition was like, yo, we're going to pause your recording for you, dog, just in case. And I'm like, no, you just keep the microphone's still... Anyway.
Yeah, so back to the Titans invading the town, we see pretty much slaughter of a whole bunch of people. People crushed under rocks. The preacher, he's running around yelling about repenting.
He's not helping anybody.
No.
He's not doing anybody any good.
And then he gets eaten anyway.
He does get eaten.
So many people in this scene.
It's hard to be happy for the preacher getting eaten when, like, so many other people get eaten. Because, like, there's a girl who runs into, like, she's just running through alleys and then ends up in a dead end. And then a Titan, like, puts its, like, happy baby face over. The Titans all have, like, when they smile, they look like babies smiling. Where it's like, you don't even know what you're smiling for. You're just happy. That's kind of how the Titans look.
They are so stupid. And they don't even pretend not to be stupid. Like, they're big naked idiots who eat people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, that's very judgmental of you, MC. Come on. Don't judge a Titan by its cover.
But in the next scene, we sort of have the guard running with the kids.
Yeah.
Saving them. And he's like, we could have saved my mom. And then he starts beating on the guard.
Yeah, he starts, like, punching him in the head while the guard's carrying him.
And then he gets thrown, and Misaka's like, Eren! And it's like, yeah, the reason you couldn't save your mum is you weren't strong enough. And the reason I couldn't go up against the Titan was because I didn't have enough courage, or whatever.
Yeah. Aaron does get thrown, which has led me to a new theory. This series is gonna end the way that they're gonna like beat the last Titan or whatever that they have to do to win the day is that Mikasa's gonna throw him at the Titan because that's his superpower is just getting chucked.
But then the guard like apologizes for what's happening essentially, and then Misaka's like, it's happening again, and it's like she has a headache or something because she raises her hand up to her head, and all I thought was, oh man, her flashbacks are giving her memory pains.
So, I missed the line. It's happened again. Interesting.
What?
Interesting. So then what happens? Basically we get, okay, this is where we get the, like, escape montage, right?
Yeah. It's all the guards are telling everyone to run and hurry and get to the ships and evacuate. And we see, like, these really cool ships and the design. Bill really likes the design of these ships. So if we could just get like a little insert here, Troy.
Oh God! What? Listen, I said I might put it in there, but now you're mandating it. All right, here he goes.
Just Bill's like description of the ships or whatever.
Yeah. So in case to describe it to people who probably maybe seen the show but maybe haven't watched it recently, the boats have kind of got this weird like conveyor belt thing on top. It's almost like two treadmills on their side put together. And there's like a metal framework. Yeah, it's like a track above it. So this like treadmill thing moves around, which then pulls the boat forward along the track. It's really strange. It's a very interesting design, and it's kind of one of the things that I like about fantasy in general. Like whether it's a game, a book, or a TV series like this, it's just they just come up with really interesting ways of making the worlds feel individual. It's a bit steampunk type things, like where they come up with weird ways of how things can work. It's like, well, yeah, this is how we do boats.
Okay. Thanks, Bill. I haven't heard that, so I don't know what it was, but I'll put it in there. I like this montage because I feel like, listen, obviously, I've never been in a disaster situation, but I feel like this montage does a really good job of capturing what that must feel like, the chaos of everybody trying to get out and everything.
And people having to like leave their belongings because there's not enough room.
And boats taking off with people still on the dock, and they're like, "It's full, you can't go." Like, sorry. I just listen. I like Age of Ultron, Avengers: Age of Ultron. I know a lot of people it's not their favorite of the Marvel movies, but I like that one quite a bit. But seeing this escape scene from a crisis and then seeing the Age of Ultron one, I'm like, wow. Everybody was surprisingly calm in Age of Ultron while their city was being lifted into the air by an army of evil, murderous robots.
Yeah, I think this is more closer to reality because they're all freaking out.
Yeah.
And there's some really traumatized people, including Eren and...
Mikasa.
But their friends like, oh, we're waiting for them, and the guy's grandfather is like, hey, don't bother them. They've probably seen something, by the looks of them, they've seen something really terrible.
Because they're like just sitting there like hollow-eyed.
Yeah.
So the boat goes through, and they're trying to, so there's two ways through the gate. There's these tunnels that the boats go through, which I'm just gonna, maybe Titans can't swim. It seems like that's a security flaw.
There's gates.
Okay.
But then there is like bars over them.
There's a gate, an archway with a stone gate that gets dropped into place on it, and there's like a debate between the guards about like whether we should drop the gate or not. If the Titans get through, then the people that are still inside, it's going to be the least of our worries and stuff. And we're not soldiers, we don't get to decide who lives and dies. All this stuff is going on, and then a Titan shows up. I believe I've seen him called the Armored Titan.
Yes, the Armored Titan.
He's real thick. He's a running back, and he just starts charging, and they start trying to drop the gate because of him charging.
Yeah, we see a little Titan just getting completely blown to smithereens, and this one hits the big giant armored Titan on the shoulder as it's running towards him. And even as he starts to run, like bits of building around him that he isn't touching start to explode away. And yeah, it just brushes off him like it was nothing. And at that point, the guards just, okay, it's time to leg it. I would as well. I probably wouldn't even bother firing the cannon. I'd have been like, oh, this one can run really fast. I'm getting out of here.
Here's my question, MC. Would the Armored Titan have been stopped by that gate if it was properly closed? Because it looked to me like he was going through that wall no matter what.
I'm pretty sure he's going through that wall no matter what.
Okay.
Especially when you see he gets hit by one of the cannonballs, and it just sort of like glances off of him.
Mm-hmm.
I think if he's got enough speed going up when he hits that wall, he's going through it no matter what.
That's what I felt too. I felt like he could, just step 20 feet to the left and go through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man, and he would have gotten through, regardless of the gate.
The other thing might be, like, once it's in place, it's more rigid, and connecting with the wall, it might be a stronger defense.
See,
I
think that's the
idea. If it's up, it's like a bit loose and wobbly, so it's easier to break through, maybe. That could be the idea behind it. Like, it's got more flexibility, so it's easier to break while it's up in the air.
I think that's the intention, but I think that the gate, the whole wall system was designed for regular Titans, whereas this Armored Titan, much like the big naked Titan, well, they're all naked, but the one who kicked through the gate in episode 1 looks different than the normal Titans. So my impression is that, like, these Titans are getting through the wall, basically no matter what humanity does to try to stop them. But maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they would have been saved if they had just closed the gate. But it sure doesn't feel like it to me. This guy looks like he's determined. He's got a real concentrated face, and he just busts through that wall.
And then he breathes steam out after his jaw unhinges and drops open. Well, his armored jaw.
Noticed that.
Yeah. So the armor plating on his bottom jaw, it like drops out and down, and then he opens his mouth and breathes out like steam.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, because there was a lot of smoke coming off the Colossus Titan as he was holding onto the top of the wall. And yeah, there is something about them that's hot. Not in a sexy way, but just hot Titans. And yeah, so he successfully smashed a hole through Wall Maria, and this is where we then get like almost like the halfway point of the episode. We get a little flick over to a bird's eye view of the walls, which I find that's what I like that, because you can see there are several rivers actually, and like lakes and everything dotted around.
And we see everyone's terrified because they got through the outer wall, like not just the little pocket town, but like into the main wall of Maria.
This is like the farm area of humanity's last civilization.
Yeah, and we get a diagram and like some like information about how I guess the walls work in society. And then it's just like, oh yeah, people just kept running as fast as they could away from the Titans, and they went up the river, and you get a scene with some, I guess,
like city councilors or something.
Yeah, city war councilors or whatever. And
these are the guys who say the name of the city 2 different ways in one scene. Jerks.
And they're like, the walls aren't gonna fall. They've been up for a century or whatnot. They've been protecting us. And then it's like, hopefully it's just Shiganshina.
Yeah.
It's that they're not in Maria, and then it's like they get the word that the Titans broke through the big wall.
They're in now.
Like,
they're in
all
here.
shock.
It jumps forward a little bit here to Eren and Mikasa and their friend trying to scavenge food from not scavenge food, but get rations basically.
First, we get the scene on the boat where he's like, I want to kill them all.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about the Titans, and that all three of them are like, yeah, let's join the Rangers or whatever. The Scouts.
Yeah, and Aaron's like, man, why was I such a little poop head all the time? I should have been nicer.
And then we get the scene with the dad, and
oh, is the dad dream here?
The needle.
Or...
Yeah, it's right there.
Just before the dream of his father, we see his father riding through the woods. And he's just like, Aaron, Mikasa, and whatever your mother was called. I hope you're all alive. And then it flicks over to Erin's dream of, and then it quickly changes. Yeah, you get the tear running down Dr. Yeager's eye, and then you suddenly get the dream with the flame, and then the weird needle thing flying about. Basically, Erin's just dreaming that his dad's like attacking him underneath this big tree, and then he wakes up like, huh?
MC, dude, what the heck? Okay, so listen. Spoilers for Star Trek Discovery Season 1. Have you seen Star Trek Discovery Season 1?
Yes, I've also seen Season 2?
Yeah, Season 2 is So we've been rewatching Season 1, and there's the whole subplot about Ash Tyler and how, oh snap, he's secretly the Klingon Voke who's been like surgically altered, and he starts having these flashback memories where he remembers them like cutting his body open and stuff. That's what this looked like to me. So new theory. Aaron is the baby Titan that the dad has been keeping in the basement, and he has grafted the baby Titan's body inside the body of his son. So Aaron is secretly a hybrid of boy and Titan.
Good theory. I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong. So you're going to have to watch the show.
Now they're looking for food?
Yeah. Now that Misaka wakes up Eren, and they go out and... I'm trying to remember his name.
The other boy's name is... Let's see.
It's not that.
His name is Armin.
Armin, that's right. So we see Eren like tuck away the key that he sees his dad gave him in the memory. Then they go out.
It's the answer to the truth.
They go out, and it's like all these people are in this store warehouse, and they're like getting food. They're barely eating, and essentially,
and the guards are being awful because they're oh, look at these freaking animals stealing our food, these scavengers. We better fan up the herd because Titans like them a bit plump.
He says to him, doesn't he? He goes, that's it. You people eat all of my food because you'll be nice and fat for the Titans to eat. He's such a bastard, this guy. He is. And that's why Aaron goes up and kicks him in the shin. Like, that is perfect kid torture, that is. In the shin. He's like, oh, you little git. Punches him in the face.
Yeah, and their friend comes up and gives them some bread, and they're like, eat up, and Eren gets all mad at the guards and tries to fight or something.
Uh-huh.
He's really silly in this scene.
Well, I mean, the guard wasn't being a massive tool.
Oh, yeah, but he's also an adult.
Yeah. Listen, that's not going to stop Eren from picking a fight.
He's real angry.
Then we get some massive time jumps after this, because basically what it explains, there's a couple things. First step, all right, all of you surviving people, we're going to send you out to try and farm this area that we call the Barrens and see if you can grow some crops there. Spoiler alert, you can't. You can't grow crops there. And then most of them starve to death because of that. So then the next year, they conscript all of the people, all the refugees that are of age are forced into the army to form a military group to try and take back Wall Maria. And they send like 2,500 people, and like 200 come back.
Yeah, that's what they say.
And then they go, but the good news is that sure helped with the food rations because so many people died. Now there was more food for everybody that was left. And I'm like, holy smokes, show. That's dark.
And I don't think they say that they get the wall back either, do they?
No, they fail.
That's terrible.
So the situation now is that all of humanity is living inside the first two walls. They no longer have that third ring, which it sounds like was like the agricultural ring. It was where most of the food was
Yeah.
grown. And then we jump way forward.
About a year or two?
I thought it was 5, but I might have been pulling something from the manga on that. I might be wrong.
No, yeah, he says he's going to enlist next year.
Oh, okay. So it's been about... Oh, okay, I know what it is. So it's been about 2 years from the attack.
Yeah,
I know that
from the attack.
In another 3 years, something else is gonna happen. Spoilies.
Yeah, Armin is really upset because his grandfather died by joining up with that big army that you talked about, where they try to take back.
Joining up is generous when they forced all of the surviving refugees into military service.
I know, but still, and they all. It's actually this scene where they decide that they're all going to enlist at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then it does another jump forward. And we see the guard.
Yeah, it's Keith. Hi, Keith Shadows. How are you? Look at you with your spoopy name.
And now he no longer looks the same because he's bald.
And angry.
And he has a goatee.
Yep. And he's yelling at the troops, at boot camp troops, and saying, like, if I do my job right, you're going to regret this decision for the rest of your life. You're going to dream about this in your nightmares forever.
Yeah, I like the fact as well. I think he says as well, like something along the lines of, if I've done my job correctly, you won't be having nightmares of Titans. You'll be having nightmares of this place.
I mean, I know that's typical, like, drill
He
sergeant
calls
stuff,
them no less than cattle.
But hey, maybe be a little nicer to, like, humanity's last hope.
Oh, the best thing about this whole scene is he's straightforward with them. He's like, listen, only some of you are going to get through this, and the rest of you are going to get eaten by Titans. Deal. And you're like, whoa, dude, that's a bit heavy to lay on these first-year enlistees. Right? Like, it's their first day. But then at the same time, you're like, okay, yeah, they kind of need to know that.
I mean, I guess. But if you go back, see, I take it back to Food Wars, that graduation ceremony from transitioning from middle school to high school, where he tells them basically the same thing. I mean, you're not going to get eaten, but he tells them that, like, most of you are going to fail out of this. This is going to be too hard. But he's, like, all positive about it. And he's like Dumbledore, where he's like, listen, butterscotch, hobnob, whimsy doodle, and it'll be okay. And this guy's like, you're going to die.
Yeah.
It's a weird way to motivate people. That's all.
And Aaron just looks so determined. And his eyes are just, like, fierce as.
I have to correct myself. I said 25, or I think I said 2,000 people were sent on the attack on Walmaria. It was 250,000 people, and 200 survived. So,
yeah,
like
that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we sort of end on, like, the camp, and it's like, they're all hopeful and angry.
Yep. They're in the army now.
Yeah.
Hey, this show's kind of depressing right now.
Oh, yeah.
This episode is like nothing fun happens in it. It's just
no.
The most fun thing that happens in this is the jerk preacher gets eaten.
But yeah, yeah. Oh, I just love Attack on Titan. It's just so gruesome and shocking. I had no idea what the show was when I first watched it. I think that was something else you guys mentioned last week. Was like, I think Troy said, when you go into watching Attack on Titan, you know there's going to be giant titans eating people, so you should already have that mindset. But I didn't. I was kind of I was watching the dubbed version of Dragon Ball Super on an app that I had on my phone. I won't say what it is because it's not the most authentic of apps. And I just finished watching the latest episode. I was like, I wonder what else there is. And it said new episodes of Attack on Titan. I was like, never heard of it. Click. Watched the first episode. I was like, what's this?
It's horror, followed by depression, followed by hope. But it's like the most minuscule amount of hope. because then it's immediately crushed by this drill leader. Oh my god.
It's not even hope though. It's defiance. But
oh yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe those two are one and the same. But it's just it is Empire Strikes Back. It is a series of down endings. Like it's just like, oh, everything's terrible, but then also everything's terrible, and also everything is terrible.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's it.
Yeah. The episode 2, the fall of Shiganshina. Oh man, depressing.
Yeah, it's bad.
Tune in next time.
Next episode is A Dim Light Amid Despair, Humanity's Comeback, Part 1.
Yeah.
MC. If you were, I don't know. I don't have a good hypothetical to get us to say something silly at the end.
Yeah. Oh man. Do you think you would join up? After all that like terror and horror, would you join up?
That's not a fun question.
No, it's not.
Oh God. Listen. Okay, here's my take on that. Aaron grew up wanting to join the military. Aaron thought that those were the heroes. Aaron wanted to be a soldier. Aaron was a little kid. I think a lot of little kids think that they're going to do something like that when they grow up, right? Like, I'm going to be an astronaut. Like, no, you're not, child. Sorry, but you're just not. But Aaron thought he was going to be. And then I think Aaron broke psychologically. And I think that I don't think that his drive to join the military at that point in his life was necessarily heroic or powerful or anything. It was survival. It was pure survival mechanism. Like, he had to join up because what the heck else was he gonna do? Tune in next time. The best animated shows ever. Oh God. Oh.
Good answer. Oh man. I would. Probably not for the same reasons, but I would.
I just don't want to kill anything. I don't want to have to go kill Titans. I want to figure out how to be friends with Titans. And the secret is that he is half Titan. And here's my theory. Here's my theory on how Aaron's going to make peace between the humans and Titans, because he is, as we've established, a human-Titan hybrid. We all know what the Titans are really upset about, right? They don't have junk, and they're very upset about that, because why don't they get junk? Humans have junk. Why don't they get junk? And then they're going to see Aaron, and they're going to be like, look, it is our Messiah. It is the Titan boy with junk. And then that's how he's going to unify the world. That's it.
And the slaughter. And the slaughter. Give Titans junk.
Yeah. And the slaughter.
Thanks for listening to the best animated shows ever so far. Find the show on Twitter at BaseSFcast or email us at basesfcast@gmail.com. That's BASESFCAST. Our intro music is Funnin' and Sunnin', and our outro music is Motivator, both by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, and licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. Thanks again for listening, and tune in next time.
This has been a presentation
of the We Can Make This Work
Probably Network.
Follow us on Twitter
at Probably Work
for more of our questionable content.
Also, we have a website called probablywork.com.